What is up?
What's up, Cody?
I just got on lunch break at work.
All right.
Cheetos
What?
sandwich.
Yep. What's up, everybody? As we are waiting for people to join in here. So, guys, welcome into another episode of Simply Investing and another episode of Crypto News. We're getting ready to start these things off at 6 o'clock on the evening because I'm just way too busy in the morning to get this out there. But welcome in. Glad to have you guys in. If you guys want to follow, and share the live, that'd be really great. If you're on YouTube and Twitch, definitely give us a like and some support there as well. They're free. It certainly helps us. And be patient as our moderators are coming in. We are not yet. They're not yet in. They're being notified right now. So do bear with us with that. And as always, it is open forum. So if you have questions, certainly feel free to drop them in as we go over our topics, and we'll try to give you a shout out as we go along. And just bear with it because sometimes you guys post quicker than I can respond. So just bear with me there a little bit. But glad to have you guys in here today. We got a lot of fun stuff. As always, the video of the next crypto pick was Chainlink, and that video will release next, not this coming Monday, but I believe the following Monday.
Chainlink is solid.
Yes, it definitely is solid, especially after if you've been keeping up with their YouTube channel and the news of the CCIP that they launched and the interoperability platform and everything that they did. It certainly is a game changer for financial services and tokenization of real world assets. But also we'll have TommyNet coming the week after, as well as stock pick of the week next Friday for Ford. And then after that, we will have Bank of America. So stay tuned for those. And as always, we're going to be going live every 6 p.m. Monday through Friday for crypto news. And then we're going live every Sunday, 9 a.m. Central Time for what's in your portfolio, which seems to be one of your guys' favorites, one of our highest hitting views. We always seem to get about 1,000 people in on those. So definitely hope to have more people in there. But if you guys can like and follow us, it'd be really helpful. Really give us some support there. And we're going to get on with this after we go over some housekeeping. So I got myself here. My name is Sal. I own a few businesses as well as some real estate, and I invest in crypto and stocks. I just had a major win from my construction company, so I put quite a bit, 6 figures into crypto today. So I'll definitely go over that with you guys on what's in your portfolio. And also, here's Cody. He's the guy that got me into crypto. Was kind of started this journey almost 2 years ago. So definitely been a fun ride.
Oh yeah, it's been a very.
Oh yeah, and that we really started getting in crypto when the Greed and Fury Index was like 9. so so right now it's the Greed and Fear Index for today is 51. We are down 0.23% on the market as a whole. However, all the blue chip cryptos seem to be staying steady, about the same as the market, while we got, of course, the meme coins dropping a little bit more than the market and some other random tokens dropping it down. Shout out to K Max. Hey Sal, what kind of crypto should I get next? To be honest, it's looking like Gala might be a good hit. There's just some rumors that that might be the token of choice for GTA 6, but that's just a rumor. Sometimes a rumor is premature fact. Sometimes a rumor is just hype. But Gal is definitely something I'm looking into. But right now, all I did was with about $600,000 I added today. I really just put it into Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Quant, Dot, Ad Share, and what was the other? Litecoin and Link. So it's should be the ticker should be GALA. I think it's hitting at around like 2 cents right now, and it's definitely looking like if they pick that coin, it's going to shoot up over $1. And so there's a lot of move, but that's if the makers of GTA 6 use that coin for their play to earn. But that's all hearsay, pretty much hearsay. We're going to go over the Brics rumors and how they're not going to happen, and some of the reasons why the Brics is not going to shut down the U.S. dollar. I know there's a lot of fear mongering around, but trust me, there's a lot more things that people have to know about the U.S. and U.S. economy before people understand that Brics has a far shot of taking out the U.S. Shout out to Sam. Welcome in. Glad to have your support. I saw some hype in the last 48 hours for XRP. It's only at 64 cents right now. I heard it's supposed to go to $50 or $60. There was a glitch on the Gemini platform where it went up to like an even $50 for some reason, and then went back down to the normal price. So it definitely was a glitch, but I'm glad that Gemini has been a longtime hater of XRP is now placed it on their exchange, so it is now on their exchange, and it's now on, I think, every major exchange, crypto
I
exchange.
didn't know.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Cody.
I didn't know Gemini was an XRP hater.
Oh yeah, the Winklevoss twins did not like XRP. They were very against XRP. They said it was an unregistered security, that it wasn't going anywhere. Basically, saying it was an overall shitcoin. And the case with Judge Torres proved that it is a commodity, not a token, not a not a security token. Although it was ruled that it was a security when it was sold to the banks and to institutions like hedge funds and things like that. Uh, Shout out to Sam. Probably the same thing for Shibu. I guess you're talking about the Shiba Inu coin. Um, I heard a lot. Of course, there's always going to be hype now that we got more retail investors coming back into the market. I just don't think that meme coin can hit a $50 or $60 for that, especially since it has no value or it's not really doing much other than NFTs, which the NFTs are really just artwork. Shout out to K Max. What do you think about injective protocol? Actually, I haven't heard of it unless if you're talking about specific crypto. I haven't heard of it, but I have if it's like a part of the blockchain, I definitely need to do some research on it. Like I said, there's still a lot that I got to learn about it, but we can definitely look at, unless if you're talking about the ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, there, KMax, because I did a video on that specific crypto about 2 weeks ago for you guys. Shout out to Sam. Yes, it hasn't even hit a penny, and yeah, it's probably not going to with trillions of coins out there. It's got too much out there for it to happen. But shout out to KMax. If you are talking about the Internet Computer Protocol crypto, it definitely seems interesting. It has a lot of developers behind it. There's a decent amount of investment into it that's helping the community grow and helping the blockchain grow, but it's got a pretty big ambition to go through. So that's why it's just kind of like on a watch list. Not really. I wouldn't say it would go too far, but you never know on there. Shout out to Mike. Glad to have you in here. I hope you're having a great day as well. Thanks for joining us. Shout out to Sam. By the way, have you been seeing a lot more people getting banned on your friends list? No, I've seen inactive accounts get if you're talking about on TikTok, they inactive accounts have been, I guess they're deleting them or something. Like if they've been inactive for a certain period of time. But I don't think you can get banned unless as long as you adhere to their community guidelines, that you shouldn't have a problem. But speaking of platforms, we got the Apple that new headset and how it's going to be integrating into. There's a lot of big plans about it. I thought it was going to be more just like a gimmick, kind of like the Google glasses, but it seems like it's going to be used a lot more for people working at home, for virtual meetings and things like that. Okay, I had to delete 15 people. Um, I guess they might have done something that went against I guess the terms of service for TikTok. So I don't know. As long as you don't say the naughty words and you keep it rated G, you shouldn't have a problem. Shout out to DYO. Glad to have you in here. Buy rumors because you're definitely going to lose money if you buy news.
When I heard that name, never mind.
But so anyway, we're gonna get on to the main topic here. I know a lot of you want to talk about the XRP glitch, but if you were able to make a degenerate trade, you could have made a crap ton of money by selling your XRP on the Gemini exchange late at night for $50 per XRP on that glitch. But
Really? I wonder if anybody did that.
um, I think a few people did. I'm sure someone capitalized on it. There's definitely a lot of day traders watching. That was like a perfect example of a day trade. Like, but you're not going to see a glitch like that happen again. It's definitely not. Uh, Crypto Mike says, "What's up, Cody? He's glad you're in here."
Oh, what's up, man? Um, Honestly, like I'm just accumulating, just doing my thing. I'm even getting a second job and working full time, two full time jobs, and just pretty much just stacking up my portfolio. My goal is to just buy Ethereum. I already have a good amount of Quant, Polkadot. I'm trying to add about over 10 ETH in my portfolio. My goal is at least $30,000 in Ethereum.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm always advocating, with the gas fees being need to be paid in Ethereum for a lot of the layer two coins, like Quant and Matic and Chainlink, you're going to want to have a little bit of ETH in your portfolio because the gas fees during this bull run are going to be expensive, as everybody's anticipating. It's going to be the highest. It's going to be probably the highest increasing bull market with the most amount of retail investors and institutions getting in on this in the coming 2 years for everybody. And we already got analysts saying we're looking at Bitcoin at 300,000, and that might be a push, but it's just not. I don't see 300,000. I see 100,000, but not 300,000. But you never
At
know.
least
It's
for
all
next
about
bull run.
yeah, for next bull run, like in 2 years, there's just not enough. There's not enough people or money to be put in. Like I guess 300,000, we would have to be over 21 trillion valuation for crypto.
Oh yeah, we'd have to at least be at 20 trillion or more. Right? 100,000. I'd say about 150 would be the highest for next bull run. Honestly, that'd be the highest, maybe around 100. But
Hmm.
that's why I'm more into like Ethereum and altcoins because the ROI. But then again, if you argue that the Bitcoin dominance is going to stay at 50%, then I mean, technically, wouldn't you get a better return on Bitcoin than Ethereum?
Yes, you're probably gonna get a better return on Bitcoin over. Well, if we go over like the 5 year period, like a traditional return on investment that we're looking for, like what we do with stocks over a 5 and 10 year period, Bitcoin definitely has a better return than Ethereum. Just that Ethereum has like Bitcoin is a store of value. Ethereum is slowly being converted into a network of exchange. So it's going to be interesting. Shout out to Break. Hey, welcome in. Thank you. Glad to be back live today. So really appreciate you joining in. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Crypto Mike. Why not work your job? uh, Build a side income. I'm in digital marketing as a side hustle, selling. Yeah, there's been a lot of people going into digital marketing, especially with the AI support. I just was never good at marketing. Um, Shout out to Kev USMC. Oh, I'm guessing you are a Marine there or a former Marine. So we do thank you for your service there. Um, with the ETF approval, it's going to go to the moon. Well, it is going to get approved, but we got about 6 to 8 months to go through the SEC regulation. Just going to bounce back and forth until it gets absolutely approved. But with Chainlink CCIP and Quant's Overledger, it's actually going to make it very easy to set up an ETF by anybody with the interoperability of those blockchains and networks. Shout out to Jacob. What will Bitcoin reach by the end of 2024? Um, that's the guy. I don't really look too much out in the year out, but if I had to say, I wouldn't say it's going to be as high as people think. Probably low 50s, 50K range. As we are, because that should be the start where we're starting to build up, but we're not yet in like that rapid uptick. I don't know if Cody, if you're still there, if you got a thought on when what Bitcoin will be at the end of
You know what's crazy?
2020.
I got a friend named Jacob who has a good amount of Bitcoin. He's got over one, but yeah. Um, as far as next bull run, like I said, like 150,000 would be the highest we'd ever go.
But
Next
before
bull
the
run,
start of
100,
the bull run,
150.
before the start
Oh,
of the
the
bull run,
bef-
yeah, like at the end of
oh
2024, before the start of the bull run.
oh, so pretty much like when things are starting to shake up. Okay, so we've been flatlining at about 29,000, 30,000 right now. So since we've been flatlining around there, I'd say by the end of 2024 we should probably be at around 45,
Yeah.
45ish, 50.
Okay, Cody's a little bit more conservative than I am. I'm thinking with the ETF because by then ETFs will be approved, and we'll have at least two products out. So I'm thinking it'll be a little higher, just probably starting to
Oh, see,
increase.
I didn't take that into account. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it's right now October, and their BlackRock's ETF is they're thinking 6 months till approval. So we might be, but they're accumulating right now, which is what's keeping the price stable. Shout out to Crypto Mike services I learned in this training I bought. I own a lawn care business and I do digital marketing on the side. Well, definitely lawn care will that's a tough industry to be in. So good luck to you on that. I definitely know it's very competitive. Shout out to Break K. How have you been? I've been great, just a little tired. As you know, it's always busy, always busy. Jacob, we just answered your. I hope we just answered that BTC question for you. Shout out to RJ. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Shout out to Kev USMC. Are you looking at cost? It's a gem. Uh, cost. I'm definitely looking at it. It's on my watch list. It does have some direct correlations when XLM, XTC, and XRP start going up. It goes up with them. I know a lot of people who have H bar and those alike generally have CAS in their portfolio as well. Um, Shout out to Crypto Mike. Check out Glow Binance. Glow Binance is a gem. Yeah, we can definitely check that out in a little bit. Predictions on XRP next bull run. Cody and I have been saying this on every stream. We expect XRP to be somewhere between $4 and 550. I don't see it getting any higher than 550, but there's a lot of good projects that are slowly building on the platform. We had Suzuki launch their NFTs on there for their bikes. Um, there's rumor talk of Jordan NFTs for Nike and Michael Jordan on XRP. So this bull run probably I would say between 350 and 4, but we could reach as high as 550. However, on the next bull run, there's definitely a little bit more value, but it all depends. There's still XRP is kind of linked to CBDC, central bank digital coins. So, and there's a lot of negative sentiment behind it. However, XRP only does is what they're aiming to do is a speed transfer of money. So, they're definitely going to help bank the unbanked. Shout out to DYO. ETF will be a market top. I don't know about that. You never know. It could be. But I feeling once we get Vanguard and BlackRock's through, you'll get probably about 30 to 40 other Bitcoin ETFs to come on board. Shout out to Johnny Flowers. Welcome in. Glad to have you in on the live today, and thank you for your support there too. Uh, Quant price prediction in the bull run. I think we've covered that quite a bit on every live too. Or I have a conservative bet because there's only about 12 million token or 13 million tokens in circulation. Exchanges have very little of it available for people to buy, and it's becoming scarcer and scarcer as we get closer towards the bull run. So
Speaking of which, it's held this $100 mark for so long. Like
yeah,
Quant has really held its value over time.
yes, Quant has seemed it doesn't seem to dip. Like the $100 is the resistance level, and it's not going below that, which is a good thing for the token, but bad if you're trying to dollar cost average in. uh, because we want it to go a lot lower so you can even out those dollar cost averaging. But our, our prediction, I know Cody has some about 1,500 to 2,000. I think 1,500 would be the max as far as when we look at the charts. But if we're going to make a conservative estimate, probably 800 to 1,200. But it's still good. It's still like a long term. I mean, you have the the head of the financial advisors for the Rothschilds has made an investment into it. You have J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank. You have the a couple people who own ownership in the NYSE and the index exchanges and the exchanges on there, and someone who helped
Did
modernize
you
BTTC, all investing in quant. So long term, it's definitely a good hold. Just don't know
did
where
you
it's going to go. What's up, Cody?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, did you see that? Did you see that Quant appoints head of divisional sales? They have a new head of divisional sales.
Yes, I saw the article. I didn't read it, but I saw they appointed someone new.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of things, and it's just crazy how Quant's been holding its value like for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely holding strong. It's not every time it looks like it's about to go lower. It's not. It keeps going back up, and it's just as soon as it hits close to 100 or at 100, the we start seeing buy pressure from both. It looks like whales, institutions, and retail investors keep buying more of it.
Oh yeah.
But if that's all, I think we're all caught up on the comments, and we're all caught up on, I guess, doing discussing price predictions for the bull run. Um, we kind of want to talk about. I want to talk about Brics because I know yesterday, it's like towards the evening, there was a lot, especially this morning too. There's a lot of people on like YouTube, TikTok, Twitter talking about Brics is going to end the US dollar and that their digital currency was 50 US dollars to one of their currency and it was gold back. So I'm going to say some quick pointers here just so you guys understand. Well, the first one is that since the early 1900s, most of the countries stored their gold in Fort Knox in the U.S. bank in the U.S. So the U.S. has been the cataloger of everyone's gold, and until after I think the collapse of the Soviet Union, because all their gold was already when it switched from the czars to the Soviet Union, their gold was already in the U.S. So it wasn't going back, regardless. So then when they collapsed, don't they did not the US did not send their gold over. So the only thing they have is whatever they acquired in those 30 years. Uh, the main thing is that people forget that we are the world supplier of food, but believe it or not, we output a lot of food to people. And BRICS is a like especially India, China, and Brazil consume a lot of our food. Now with Brazil, we consume a lot of like a exotic fruits and rubber wood and synthetic and natural produced rubber from them. But other than that, we outproduce them as far as the global economy. As far as like you compare economy to economy, we're a little less corrupt than Brazil. So like I don't see it happening long term. And what people forget is that Brazil, Russia, and China are are really close. Even though they say that they're that I know that Brazil says that they're democracy, but they're really totalitarian governments. So I mean, how many years have been Putin has been in? I think the this party, the Chinese Communist Party, this side of it has been in control for 60 years, and I think this guy has been in control about a third of that. I can't pronounce his name, but and on top of that, they all are not going to work together like the Western countries. someone's going to want to have complete control, and China pretty much hates everybody and isn't on good terms with really India or Russia. They're just kind of quiet neighbors. So they're going to undermine each other as if they do actually be able to make something happen, they'll undermine each other first before they can even take out the US. And if the US put sanctions on China like they did on Russia, China would completely shut down because they barely have enough energy at the moment to maintain, and they don't have enough. Well, let's just put it this way: their fleet is about 20 years behind because their fleet runs on oil. Our fleets, our destroyers, our subs, our aircraft carriers, all of it runs on nuclear fission. So we don't need oil to run our navy. The only thing we need oil for is the jets, but you know, a lot of those do. I mean, the older ones run on oil, but a lot of it runs on nuclear energy. So we're not as dependent on these guys. And Saudi Arabia wouldn't dare because we have military bases and they're protecting. And if they take away, if they walk away from us, we walk away from them, and it's a net negative for them. Shout out to AI. What AI Foot? Welcome in. Glad to have you in. Shout out to Alex. Glad to have you in here. Tons of ships still run on diesel, like a huge chunk of them. Yeah, we're still running a lot of the older ships, destroyers, and things like that. But ever since the '90s, the subs and the carriers were generally on nuclear fission technology, and then I think in the last 10 years, any new ones have been on nuclear fission because it took a little longer to make, but it was cheaper in the long run to maintain them. And you can get about 50 years out of a reactor instead of 30 years out of a diesel engine. And shout out also the entire Coast Guard. Shout out to Alex. Also, the entire Coast Guard is antiquated diesel ships that are falling apart. True, but it's I mean, the Coast Guard wouldn't be the one to drive their boats all the way out. They have a different mission that they have to complete. So, but they're not going to be the same as the Navy. Like, I'm not really privy to a lot of military things because I've never been in it, but I could, from what I see, is just it just be too hard. Plus, we can turn around and manufacture a crap ton if we had to. We can just switch on. So, because the only thing we don't have a lot of is rare earth, but we have a lot of everything else to do what we need to do. But as far as them taking over, because like you gotta remember, Russia, it's weirdly corrupt, and once Putin passes away, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy because the oligarchs are going to try to take over. Um, China has a population problem, 71 men to one female. So in 10 years, especially since their women are leaving China because of the conditions and what the culture is like, because as they're moving over to Western countries, they are definitely going to have a huge problem with population as they age up and they don't have enough young people and their birth rate is slowly dropping they overshot they overshot their population numbers by 500 million. So that means there's not as many people. There might not be as many people as we think in China. They're just all huddled in the major cities. um Shout out to Alex. You'd be surprised. Coast Guard deploys all over the Middle East. No, I'm sure they do, but they wouldn't be the first ones I would send in. But if it came down to it, you'd send everyone that you got. That's usually how you would go. Whoever can get there quicker, assemble faster, and start the fight faster usually wins. That's all according to when I used to play Command and Conquer and all those strategy games. So the faster you get there, the faster you fight, the faster you win. Shout out to 710. Thanks for the support in there. Glad to have you in there. Really appreciate one of our longtime supporters. But as far as their digital currency, now China had the digital yuan since 2017, and we've already saw the vast negative effects of it. I just can't see five people that want to be the supreme ruler all agree to work together for the long term benefit of all their populaces. I just don't see it. Even if they manage to drop the US out of its top category, they're going to start fighting in between each other. And they're all no holds bar. I mean, a lot of these guys are willing to do grave atrocities to get whatever they want done. Shout out to Alex. Certainly, overarching point is that we are incredibly dependent on oil still. We're, I mean, it's not just for fuel. Fuel wise, we actually use a lot of different categories, and we can use biodiesels, but we do use oil for for many plastics and medical equipment, plastics, wiring. That's just worldwide. We all are dependent on it. So yes, it would definitely in the long term, if that scenario did play out, because obviously we wouldn't trade with each other anymore. So someone would be losing food, and we would be losing rare earth and oil resources to produce the electronics that we need to do to maintain the level of the standard of living that we have right now, especially in the medical field, because a lot of that stuff is one use, and it's all made off of oil, petroleum based products. So, like syringes, IV tubes, IV bags, um, the pacemaker, you need rare earth and petroleum based products to make the actual chip for the pacemaker. Prosthetic hips, prosthetic arms. There's a lot. Stitches, degradable stitches. I mean, we could probably go on and on, even down to the foam that's used in the beds is petroleum based. So it's a lot, including like the gloves, the nightgown, all that stuff. So it would definitely be a hit to everybody. But if like the situation that was rumored to happen, we would see a global shutdown. But in the long term, it just wouldn't be viable because we have the most important resource, which we need is food. And if you don't have enough food after 3 days, people start to go crazy. If you only have 3 days worth of food, and unfortunately for like India, we send them a tremendous amount of wheat and barley, and that helps cover their enormous population growth. If you took that away, they would run out of food in like a day and a half, just because they have to import. Even though they produce a lot, they have to import even more to maintain their population. Plus, not a lot of people understand is India, China, and Russia, they're not cleaning up their environments in their country, so they're not going to be able to maintain where they're at. They're not going to maintain the same levels of living as like of like all the Western countries, because we do recycle. Like our carbon footprint is a lot less than China's, India's, and Russia's, but I just don't see them doing it because it's kind of like taking when you need the food, it's in front of your face, and you smack it to spite the person giving you the food. So they may talk a big game, but they won't do anything. But if anyone had a good standing of breaking away from everybody, it would probably be Russia, because they have enough. They have the capability of manufacturing fertilizer, which is important for farming and mass and factory farming. So they could probably outlast it overall. But as far as the rumors, it's like it's going to be very, very hard. And usually, for a world currency to change, it takes a world war for it to change. and the last time it changed was 1948 when the U.S. became one of two superpowers, and then everybody after the war sided with the U.S. to use the U.S. dollar as a backing currency for their currencies, and then in the 70s we Saudi Arabia added oil to back it, and it's still they still want dollars for oil. They're just accepting the yuan for China, but the yuan is a digital currency now. So, and as we saw during COVID, China can shut that off, and you can't spend it or block out the wallet or blacklist the wallets, and that's the scary thing. And that kind of brings me to my next point. I know we've been rambling on there, so I do appreciate you guys' patience as we go through this. But it has been with the digital currencies. If you, well, one, if you break any laws, even if you just like a speeding ticket, they can just say, okay, well, we're going to black out your wallet for 24 hours. So you won't be able to buy food, buy necessities, or pay like your mortgage or your rent or your loan payments, and that could really mess up a lot of people. And that's the scary thing about the CBDCs, and the potential for it to overtake a US dollar is pretty viable. um, it's just that it would take a Herculean effort for that to happen, plus a war with the US, plus the US losing. And the way it looks like, it just looks like all of us Americans are just kind of waiting for the next big fight, because there's a lot of people itching to fight. I mean, it's I just don't see it happening the way, like, they couldn't just make it happen and in one day just switch everything. It would you would have to There would have to be some type of conflict for it to happen. Shout out to 710. Thanks for the comment. Fed Now. Their payment system launch is kind of the gateway to the CBDC, but it's also a gateway to the World Bank CBDC. But we don't have a World Bank, technically a World Bank. We just have a bunch of central banks working together. So we don't have one World Bank, but it's just a payment system that launched, which it works over the XRP ledger network, but it doesn't. All it does is enable faster transactions. So, like, transferring money over country borders is just a little quicker with them, and it allows for banks to communicate to each other a little faster than a lot of people know. At the end of the day, a bank would have to call another bank, reconcile their balance sheet back to like a true zero. So if they were like plus 50 million in assets, they would have to lend those 50 million out. Or if they're negative 50 million, they'd have to contact another bank to get 50 million. So that way, at the start of next day, they're at zero, absolute zero, according to the ledger. And Fed Now kind of helps with that. Instead of that taking like hours to do, or like I should say like several hours to do, because it used to be done. They would start it at like 7 o'clock at night, and it wouldn't stop until like 1 a.m. But now they could do that and probably start at 6 and get done at 8 with the Fed Now thing. I know Cody jumped off. He was on his quick break to go off, but we kind of came to the end with the Brics thing. It's just a lot of FUD that people are doing, a lot of just rumors, people scare tactics, fear mongering, especially with the doomsday sayers constantly saying doom and gloom, because eventually they'll be right. But odds of that happening that they'll be right is just slim to none. Um, I mean, we're not like the world economy as a whole seems to be slowly turning back up to where it was. It's just that everyone's individual buying patterns have changed. So, and that's what we're not back to the hyper consumption we were 5 years ago. People are now looking saying, do I need it? No, I don't need it, so I won't buy it. So I do see, I think this Black Friday is going to show that people aren't going to be buying the $10 toasters just because they can buy a $10 toaster. They're going to say, well, my toaster works fine. I'm not going to buy that $10 toaster. I'll just wait till my toaster craps out and I'll buy a new one. So that's where we're headed. And I've noticed that last year's Black Friday was exceptionally slow, so I think this one is going to be just the same, if not slower. And I'm already predicting, like, I know that we got the new iPhone coming out in a month, but I'm already predicting that it's going to have less. It's going to have more sales because it's $500 more than last year's model, but it's going to have. It's not going to. We're not going to sell. They're not going to sell as many units. So shout out to 710. Thanks for the info. Glad I can answer that Fed Now question for you. Shout out to Mexi. I don't think so. Please elaborate. Let us know. Because we're coming into final thoughts eras as I'm ready to go home from my boring day at the office. But I'll get you guys' final questions. But are you talking about the Brics stuff or Mexi, or are you talking about the economy or Black Friday? Let me know. Drop another comment in there. But I do see here, thank you guys for definitely coming in. Maybe we can just get some more likes and support there. It'd be great. Just share if you'd like to share so we can get more people in here. The more, the merrier. Looks like I think we are all caught up on everybody's questions there. Um, if it, as far as the like, if you're talking about the economy, Mexi, I just don't see us going back to hyper consumption, especially since a lot of stuff is going digital. So there's going to be a lot less physical consumption. Might have more consumption of digital based products, but I know we're probably going to Black Friday. This one might be the slowest one on record for a while, whereas Cyber Monday might be the hottest, that the busiest that we've ever seen. Shout out to Mexi. People spending habits. It seems to me people are still spending beyond their means. That is definitely true, but I think it's because people bought the nice cars over the pandemic, and now they're stuck with the 800, $900,000 payment on that third car, and you still have two other auto payments, and now the the buying for aesthetics is catching up, which is why I think because people are going to choose to keep their car because they need to get to work. I do see Challengers, the Challengers, Camaros, and Mustangs are seem to be all over, like Facebook, Cars.com, CarMart, every used local used dealer I see. That seems to be the cars that they have. They don't have like the little SUVs, the economy cars, like the Corollas, the Hondas, the Toyotas. They don't have that. They have Mustangs, Mustangs, Chargers, Challengers, Camaros. They have a lot of what looked like impulse buys during the pandemic when you were you had a false sense people had a false sense of that they earned more than what they're actually earning because they were locked down and they weren't spending as much. They were just spending on what they saw at home, like furniture, cars, or buying their dream home because money was cheap then. And now money isn't cheap, and all those APR loans are hitting people's pockets. But I will say this: people are spending more on groceries. People are spending more on everyday items that you need, like toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, toothpaste, toothbrushes, mouthwash. People don't consider those things, and all those prices went up. So instead of being able to pay cash to get all those things, now you're spending a couple $100 on your credit card because you're trying to bulk buy to save some money in the future. Um, I think that's all the questions there, guys. We're about ready to head out. There's been a nice hour with you guys. Thanks for all the support. Do appreciate some of the people's donations. Really appreciate those. Really appreciate your support for the channel. If you guys could like and subscribe, definitely go visit YouTube, subscribe there. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you'd like to see our moving and detailing businesses, go into the description on YouTube, and you can go down there and you can see that we are definitely adding new content to those, and you can follow us through our journey on there. Really appreciate the support there too. And if you guys want to take a look and get first views of all the crypto picks, stock pick episodes, the and the upcoming interview episodes, definitely join our Patreon. The link to join is on the description in YouTube. It's also in the bio on TikTok. You can definitely join there. But if you just all you gotta do if you want to have any questions, private questions, all you gotta do is just follow and just send me a message, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. But really appreciate you guys being in here. We're gonna head out. I'm definitely gonna go home, get some rest. We will not have a portfolio. What's in your portfolio this Sunday, as I will be out on the road. Hopefully, I'll might be able to get that towards the end, but we'll see if I have time during that day. But definitely look forward to getting a lot of good content to you guys. Really appreciate your support there, and we definitely would like to see you guys next time. So have a wonderful night. Remember to respect the process. Do your own research. And if you definitely don't invest the whole piggy bank, only invest what you're willing to lose. And keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I did have a Series 7, so I was just a broker. I was just allowed to trade. That was it. So just keep that in mind. Everything I view is just from a trader standpoint, not from a financial advisor. Although if you do have any questions, definitely go over to FINRA and check that out for you guys. Thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time.